All right. What is good, everybody? You are checking out a all new Wrestling with the Topics. Lee Sanders here. I'll be joined along by the beautiful and the lovely Tams in just a hot little bit. I'm looking at her right now. She's just getting herself situated. We're just walking our furry little daughter because she has been a good girl. Yes. Number two is getting easier, folks. It's getting easier for her particular breed. The vet had told us, oh, yeah, as far as them going to the bathroom, that's going to be a significant challenge. So y'all going to have to stay on top of that. She's coming around. She's getting better. She's letting us know when she needs to go and all of that good stuff. You wait a little bit too long, she tries, and then she just, like, take yesterday, for instance. She was trying to let me know she needed to go do number two. I said, okay, let me just put my pants on. And she was like, I got to go now. So I basically, I had grabbed a plastic bag. And I pretty much, my hand was in the plastic bag. I pretty much put that plastic bag right up under her butthole. And I just caught all her droppings that way. And, what was kind of cool, though, is that she kind of knew she wasn't in trouble. Because I was hoping, hopefully she doesn't get scared, because she usually knows what happens when she poops in the house. She fucking, but no, she was cool. She was pretty laid back. So good stuff right there. Oh, it would help if we officially had started the event in Discord to let everybody know. There you go. And for those of you that's listening, I'm sure we'll have the mods do their part, letting everybody know. But if you want to text, is it text? Is that what we're saying for the Discord joint? Is it text? Basically, just jump in the RCWR show text channel. You guys are already in the voice chat, but if you want to go in the chat room, that's what it's called, a chat room. Go in our official chat room, and I'm actually going to go in there right now so I can see what everybody is saying in that bad boy. Shout out to Eddie. Who else we got tuning in right now? Yeah, everybody knows who they are. I think we got this figured out, by the way. So let's rewind this 24 hours ago. I was doing the Monday night show, right? And next thing you know, somehow, for YouTube and all the other outlets, the show was only on for a minute 47 seconds.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. A minute and 47 seconds. Discord, we didn't miss a beat. So, unfortunately, why is Chloe crying?
Because she's in the other room.
Well, why is she in the other room?
Because she's with Maggie. And you're doing the show.
Okay, that hasn't stopped us before. She's always in here when we're doing the show.
Yeah, but she's just went to the bathroom and she gonna want to play.
Well, at least open the door so she can come in and out. You know how she is. She is Kid Roman Reigns in this house. She wants to be acknowledged all the damn time. No. You know how she is by now. What was I saying? Yeah, the show only ran a minute and 47 seconds on those other outlets. I'm like, what the fly? And I didn't know for almost a whole hour. That's the real kicker, babe. I didn't know for almost a whole hour what was going on. And the only reason why I even knew, oh, wait, something weird had happened here, was because I just glanced to see what was going on with interactions from the social media outlets. And then it turned out, oh, motherfuckers don't even say online. What's going on? They were all, every single switch, Twitter, Facebook, all them joints, it was all clicked to offline. I'm going, what the fuck? So I took my advice from last night, which was reboot the computer. That way we should be okay. So I think we're okay. That's my whole point. So, nice show we got lined up for you guys. You know by now how we like to do this show for newer listeners. We try to steer clear of the talk of wrestling, although there's two particular topics I want to pick your brain on. One of them, I'm just curious your position, because it's kind of nice to hear somebody that is definitely the definition of a casual wrestling fan, a casual viewer in yourself. You know, but then I also want to pick your brain from a female perspective. I'll give you guys the topic right now as we set Tammy up in a little bit for it. We're going to set her up with Ric Flair. That's the topic. Ric Flair is what we're going to give to her later. So I think she might have an idea what we're kind of talking about. You know, she's reading the chat, by the way, so let's not spoil it for her. But it's going to be interesting to see what she has to say, right? So first things first, let's do a live unboxing. All right. Now, pretty soon you guys are going to be seeing us. I was kind of thinking about it, maybe like a once a month type of deal. Maybe we'll do like an actual live webcast where you guys can see us and all that cool shit. But we're going to do right now, just to kick things off, let's do a live unboxing, all right? We're going to do a live unboxing and taste test, all right? That's the first thing that we're going to do right now for you guys, all right? So I got, courtesy of Amazon, shout out to the good kind of people at Amazon, nice, good, hard workers over there. So I got us, as some of you guys know, I am a big fan of Skinny popcorn. I love that shit. I inhale the fuck out of that. Shout out to my boy Steve, who also does a little bit of freelance writing, definitely on the 401 Mania site. Me and him were going back and forth about Skinny Pop, and he was telling me how, man, I had to buy Skinny Pop because all the other junk food I usually buy in the house, my kids have already gotten to it. So by me bringing Skinny Pop into the house, they look at that, they go, oh, that's like old people's food or something. That's like boring food. It's got no flavor. And when in fact it does, it's delicious, right? And so it's like, great, that means more for me. Like, that means you won't be fucking with my stash. So he loves him some skinny he loves some Skinny Pop. Let's see, can we send you stuff for future unboxings? I have some leftover black tar heroin. See, there's a reason why we skip, for every 10 messages Goof puts out there, there's a reason why we skip 10 of them, and then we read the actual one where it's like, he's being legit here. Okay, there's a reason why. So this flavor that we're getting ready to try for you guys is Skinny Pop sea salt and pepper. Sea salt and pepper. This is a big bag too. This will go, if you find the right seller on Amazon, this will set you back $3.49. If you see it any higher than, I would say, $5, maybe $6 is pushing it, don't do it, because at one point I've seen this bag, which is 4.4 ounces. So just think about the size bag of Doritos, Cheetos, not the party size. I'm talking about the typical size. So this Skinny Pop bag is about that big, okay? All right, so pretty good. I'm looking at the lot. Expiration's pretty good. September 6, 2022. You definitely want to always pay attention to that. All right, so this all looks good. All right, let's dig in. See how this goes. The butter is good. I like the butter. For those of you that, you know, the best thing I like about Skinny Pop, you guys probably have seen it and you're like, hey, what's the deal with that? Let's, you know, so non-GMO, no artificial ingredients, gluten-free. You can snack on this and you don't have to feel guilty. You don't, you know, so Punk, you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to feel guilty when you're eating this. It's a great fucking late night snack. And see, this is a special shout out to those of you that may have diabetes or you have a loved one that has diabetes. You know, you definitely want to get on Skinny Pop, right? Because, you know, when you're a diabetic like I am, you got to pay attention to the carbs. You got to pay attention to your sugar intake and all that other shit. You know, otherwise, you know, you're gonna fuck yourself up, okay? So this is a really good alternative to have. Tams will tell you, I be snacking on this sometimes late at night. It beats going into the refrigerator and picking up something I know damn well I ain't got no business nibbling on. Yeah, Eddie, I'm a diabetic. I was diagnosed with Don't even get me started on Wilford Brimley. We stay fucking every fucking. Sometimes I'll say to Tam and she'll fucking punch me real hard. Sometimes I'll be like, "Hey baby, go get me a steak and cheese sandwich and some nasty greasy fries. Come on, help me lose a foot or an arm." And she'll just punch the shit out of me because she don't like when I talk like that. I was diagnosed with diabetes. 4 years ago? Maybe feels like maybe almost 4 years ago now. For sure, 3 years ago.
It feels like longer.
It feels like it was longer. Here's the thing. My symptoms, and we were kind of able to figure out, it turns out I've been dealing with diabetes a lot longer. I just wasn't diagnosed until 3 or 4 years ago. So what was going on with me, I would get extremely irritable. I would get just...
Hulk smash,
like for no fucking apparent reason. I'd be snapping at motherfuckers and shit, and I would be like in this what I could describe best as a clouded haze. And then it's kind of one of those deals where once a couple of hours later, it's like, man, what the fuck was I why did I fucking snap that person's head off like that? Well, what the fuck is going on? I was able to establish that, as far as I can recall, I believe I've been dealing with diabetes since, this is probably going to shock a lot of people, because again, I didn't get diagnosed until 3 years ago. So I'm in my early 40s right now. I believe, after long reflection, I've been dealing with diabetes since I was at least 18 or 19. At least 18 or 19. At least 18 or 19. So, just when I play everything back, all the symptoms, everything that I went over with the doctor, just playing everything back in my head, yes, at least 19, I've been dealing with diabetes. But what's interesting is, when they had checked my blood, urine, and all that, they pretty much were like, okay, so you're a type 2 diabetic, but it's uncomplicated. So, we're going to put you on this medicine. We should be able to help you reverse this shit with good dieting, exercise, and all that. We should be able to help you reverse it. So, the dieting, it's been a struggle, because it's kind of one of those touch and go. Okay, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. Now I'm really finding my groove of things, and I've done pretty good. I would say probably within the past 3 months and counting, I have lost over almost 20 pounds. My goal is to hit, I want to see 190. Tams remembers when we first started dating. When we first started dating, I was around 175, and she's like, you should go for around that build. I'm like, in my 40s now, that might be a little bit too skinny. Just think Tom Hanks in Castaway. You're like,
it wasn't that bad.
It's like, I don't know. When you started getting your 40s, it's kind of like, do you really want to look that small and that, do you want to look unhealthy? Do you want to kind of look, do you kind of want to look like some gay guys need to holler at you? I'll be honest, right? I don't want to get that damn skinny, right? Now if I'm putting some muscle mass on, then it's like, okay, to lose the weight, but then, okay, I'm going to add on some muscle mass. That I could entertain, but with a torn disc, it's kind of, I got to figure out new ways to try to put on muscle. Yes, I take metformin. Originally I was supposed to take 2.5 pills daily, but then my doctor had liked my A1C and all that. He was like, okay, you know what, let's cut this back. Let's just have you take 2 pills a day, and let's see where that goes and everything. So it's been a good journey. It's been an interesting journey so far. Like, it's trial and error. I'm sure most of you that have had diabetes, or you got a loved one with diabetes, it's like trial and error. It's like, okay, that was a good idea. Like, perfect example. we had something for breakfast the other day. And my diabetes will affect me from a standpoint of, okay, I need to go lay down. And
basically the meal was too heavy.
the meal was too heavy. Maybe it was too much carbs, or maybe it was too much grease, maybe it was too much fat. But sometimes that'll happen, and unfortunately, I'll get a headache, my eyes will hurt, I need to go lay down and rest for a little bit. But yeah, it's trial and error when it's all said and done. I think the biggest misconception about being a diabetic is a lot of people, and I do my best not to treat it like this, but a lot of people go, okay, well, because I'm taking this pill, I can go eat that cheeseburger, I can go have those fries, I can go have that pizza. And it's like, no, my dude, you don't get it. Like, anything, you need to stay away from those things, right? It's not justified. Oh, it's negated because I'm going to have this pill. It's like that episode of Garfield. Garfield, you need to lose 15 pounds. You're too fat. It's like, I don't understand. Why isn't Garfield losing any weight? If anything, he's gained more. And, Garfield's pretty much still eating the snacks and shit, right? It's kind of like one of those type of deals. But I think that's the biggest misconception that a lot of people have when being a diabetic. They think that because they're taking the medicine, they can keep eating. I have actually, when I was working in market research and I was organizing focus groups, sometimes I would organize focus groups for diabetics. And I would talk to people that it would either be for diabetics, or sometimes I would do a taste test focus group. And some of the stuff that, we were testing, is like, you're not a diabetic or anything. And yeah, I am. But, for $150, I'll be all right. I'll go ahead. And it's like, yeah, but the company is, what they don't understand, the company can be held liable. Heaven forbid you got type 1 diabetes, for example. You got to take insulin and all. Like, heaven forbid, you go to a fucking focus group and you're supposed to be there for 90 minutes sampling all kinds of chocolate. And then the next thing you know, you go into a fucking, and then that company is fucking looking at a lawsuit, right? It's like, what the fuck? So it's fucking crazy. All right, let's dig into this. All right, go for it, babe. All right, Skinny popcorn, sea salt, and pepper. Wow, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like this. It's not as good as the white cheddar or the butter. A little spicy. It tastes a little spicy. It's interesting because when you have that first small handful, you don't notice the black pepper off the break. You taste a little bit of zest, but then like once you get to the second or third little handful, that's when that black pepper kicks in.
But it's not bad though.
It's not bad. No,
it's pretty good.
It's not bad. So I recommend it. I'll take a picture of this, and so you guys kind of know how it looks. And next time you're grocery shopping, you can pick it up. We even got Tam's mom hooked on this stuff now, because I remember we were ranting and raving about the butter one, and so she now is checking that out.
The other thing is they actually, I think that's fairly new. They have the actual kernels to where you can actually pop it yourself, in the microwave or whatever, and it's fresh. Not just knocking the ones in the bag at all. But it's a good alternative, especially if you, wanting to sit home with the loved ones and, watch a movie and you just want some fresh popcorn.
Right. So that's good. I like that. I definitely highly recommend it, but if you've never tried it before,
I wouldn't try that one first.
I wouldn't try that one first. Exactly.
Unless you're a fan of salt and pepper flavored.
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah, nah. I would say if you haven't tried it yet, but you've always meant to try it,
Go for the butter or the white cheddar.
or the white cheddar. Start with that first, and then if you like that, then you go with the next one. Work your way to the black pepper one. That's the best advice. That's the best advice that we can give you. We're still reeling from last night when we had watched Better Call Saul, the newest episode. I told you guys from the Monday show we were going to talk just a little bit more about that episode. And you guys got to watch that fucking episode because, my God, and the name of that episode is Fun and Games. And what a perfect title for that episode. And I apologize in advance if, for those of you that haven't seen the episode yet, like if you want to plug out right now, maybe come back in about 10 minutes, that's fine, right? Like, but we're going to dive into some shit from that episode, but, we're not doing a full-blown review. It's just, it hit close to home for me, the way that episode had ended, because, I'm watching this, and like, when we first heard that the Better Call Saul series was going to be in development, we're going, okay, so are we pretty much going to be dealing with Jimmy as Saul Goodman off the break? Or, what's going to happen here? Because Vince Gillian, the creator of the series and all that, Breaking Bad and all that, his original layout was, we'll follow Jimmy for 2 episodes, and then we'll pretty much go into the Saul Goodman. And you're like, oh, okay. But then he realized, man, there's a lot we could flush out here. There's a lot we could do with this playground. We got a nice big old empty sandlot here, and we can really have some fun with this while bridging to Breaking Bad. And so that combined with the beautiful and the lovely Rhea Seehorn as Kim Wexler, they just felt, okay, we can do something here with these two and just build around. You would think, no, it wasn't working with Walter White and, that meth lab. No, it wasn't any of that shit. No, it wasn't being in bed with Lalo, that fucking, dealing with the Salamancas that essentially made Jimmy Saul Goodman. No. What fucking makes Jimmy McGill go, just fuck it? Just any little shred of humanity that he has left in him, any piece of decency. No, it all fucking rolls out when Kim leaves his ass. And it was just, I watched the last 10 minutes of that episode before I went to bed last night. And to just see the deconstruction and reconstruction of that man. To hear that, man, and you and me talked about it before you went to sleep. We were like, man, the way Kim kissed him in the parking lot after they came away from, I guess that was Howard Hamlin's wake. Mm-hmm. Okay. She kissed him like fucking Al Pacino in Godfather 2. And he's like, I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart, right? I mean, she kissed him like that. And it was just kind of one of those, yo, that seemed like a kiss goodbye. What the fuck? And man, you got him, hey, but I love you and you love me. And she's like, yeah, I love you too. But so what? Not in a fuck you kind of, but like, that's unfortunately not enough, because when we're together, we do bad things to bad people. Or
to good people.
We do bad things to good people that, honestly don't deserve, right? And, here he is pouring his heart out, right? I mean, he's already, that's been a running theme with the Jimmy McGill character, looking for that nod, looking for that approval. He tried to look to his older brother, Chuck, never got it. There was a part of him that resented Howard Hamlin because the affection that he wanted, Chuck gave it to this guy. Mm-hmm. So he loathed him as a result. Mm-hmm. So the last little, okay, well, Kim likes me. She thinks I'm, at least I have her. And then to basically be at your wit's end. And And it's like, okay, so basically I'm out here on my own with my dick in my hands. Okay, I see how it is. Well, fuck it then. Fuck it. I'm just gonna, it is what it is. And to just basically see by the end of that episode the official introduction of Saul Goodman. Because now the episodes going forward, we're dealing with Saul Goodman, full blown. One thing that was interesting, they gave us an Easter egg by the end of that episode. You remember when they had homed in on his Lawyer Up license tag? There was a expiration date that was on, or maybe it was like a renewal date or something like that.
Oh yeah, on a tag. License
Yeah,
tag.
basically the point that was made was at that point that we're seeing Jimmy as Saul Goodman, it has been over a year since him and Kim
Broke up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or parted ways.
Because Walter White does not intercept Saul until 2008. And where we are right now, when the episode had ended with Jimmy, I think they are at 2005.
Oh, okay.
But it hit close to home for me from this standpoint. I can remember when I was in my first marriage and when things were just coming apart, you know, and I'm trying to do everything I can to save the marriage, but, you know, the other person has clocked out. You know, right, I basically did too much, you know, not to talk about on this episode, but I did too much bad shit that, no, there's no redeeming for you, my man. You know, it's like, and it was like, but, you know, I love you and you love me. And it's like, yeah, without a doubt. It's like, but no, you know, it's kind of, you know, I felt just like Jimmy in that episode last night, because it was like, wow, you know, I'm at my wit's end, and, you know, with the exception, but here's where me and him diverge. He went further down a rabbit hole and just ultimately became a big piece of shit. I really took a look at myself in the mirror and said, okay, there's definitely shit I gotta work on with me before I move on to any potential new relationship. So let me work on me. And Tams will tell you, you know, I was in a better place, but I still had a lot of bad baggage, right? Especially personality wise, there was still a whole lot of shit that, you know, Tams will tell you, the guy that she had met 10 years ago, night and day, to the guy that's talking to you all right now. Night and day. Now, sometimes, you know, there's still little old parts of me that'll come out. I'll give you a perfect example. We're at the grocery store the other day, and I'm looking at something while trying to calm down Chloe, because I basically got her in this dog-carrying backpack, and I'm bouncing up and down because she's whining and all that. Yeah, I'm looking at something in the freezer section. I'm like over by the pancakes, frozen pancakes, Eggos and shit. And as I look away and I'm coming back, I catch the tail end of this asshole who had all the space in the world with his shopping cart, rams his fucking cart into Tam's cart. Doesn't say sorry, none of that shit. Big, tall lanky looking son of a bitch. Had to been about at least
6'5",
6'5", maybe 6'6". Now, oldly, you know, because I made sure I said it real loud as I was coming up a little bit closer. I said, whoa, what an asshole, because me and another guy, we happened to see this. We saw when the dude rammed the cart, and, you know, and when I said, whoa, what an asshole, the other guy, you know, he chuckled and he nodded his head like, yeah. See, the old me would have said, hey, motherfucker, you ran into my woman. Don't you think you owe her an apology? And if I didn't get that apology right then and there on the spot, I'd have been pouncing on his ass. I would have been cursing him out. Tams would have been like, "Yo, let's not make a scene. Let's, she'd have been pulling me and like, let's just go outside. Let's just go." Right? That's how that's old me. That's old me. But that old me it has its moments. I mean, if you know how to push the right fucking button. I think nowadays I'm too mellow for my own good these days. And I think a large part of why I'm so mellow these days is because I just go, and I think it's because as I'm getting older, I'm going, life's too short. I don't really have time to get all lost in anger and dealing with fucking knuckleheads and people that know they should know better, but they just want to be fucking silly. And, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm all fine for a good ha-ha and all that other shit. There's a time and place for that, but it's like, I can't be on constant 24/7 play mode. So I'm finding that out as I get older, and then also as I'm getting older, my tolerance for bullshit is just, no, sorry, no, I'm not having it. Next. That's all you got? Yeah, nah, not for me. Thank you. So, yeah, that episode just really made me just reflect on a lot of things. That it also made me reflect on previous relationships that I was in, because previous relationships that I was in, if it was a case I was cheated on or I was hustled out of money, unfortunately I had got that type of residue where it was, by the time I got to my first marriage, it was, well, this was done to me, so, this is the norm. That's how I justified it back then. Right? So I know it's kind of fucked up to but I mean, that's how it is. Like, if you start off as a good person, but you just keep getting yourself hooked up with bad people, eventually that's going to rub off on you. And then by the time someone good does come along, you'll probably go, something self-sabotage. There's an interesting U2 song I sometimes think about from time to time. A Man and a Woman. I don't know if you guys are in the U2 or what, but it's a good song. It's from their How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb album, which came out I think around 2004 or maybe 2005, somewhere around that time frame. Look that album up. Look out that particular song. And in that song, Bono is basically talking about, part of the lyrics, well, I could never take a chance to lose myself to find romance, the mysterious distance between a man and a woman. When you dig deeper into the lyrics, what Bono is basically saying, I could never really take a chance to abandon love and this marriage, this relationship that I have over here, pretty much all in the name of a fling, all in the name of just to have random sex with somebody else. Right? So it's an interesting song because it's something that, when I say that, kind of like, oh, they're slipping Jimmy, there's that still residue from what was done to me negatively by previous relationships. There's still, so what do you do when you're in that position and you hear those bad voices? Don't cave in. Plain and simple. you don't cave in, right? First of all, if you realize right and wrong, good and bad, the consequences, but most importantly, if you actually, love somebody, if you love someone, set them free, set them, but no, if you actually love somebody and it's like, okay, well then this should be a no-brainer. You should easily be able to, but you'd be surprised, for some people it is still I don't know why, but for some people it's still a struggle. Some people just can't keep in their pants. I don't know what it is, but I didn't mean to get off on that rant, but sometimes I just get philosophical like that. So hopefully I didn't lose you guys, You know, 'cause sometimes we can get like real deep on here. I wasn't trying to get too deep, but it just really, that episode just really just made you take a step back and just, whoa, you know.
Yeah. Self-evaluation.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate how far along I've come as a person, as a man. I know I'm not done evolving, and as I always tell you guys, never be done. Once you settle, that's like your greatest enemy. You should always be, every new day, as far as I'm concerned, is a challenge. Every new day is an opportunity to learn more about yourself, learn more about the relationships that you have with that mother, with that father, that brother, that sister, that significant other. And, it's all about the evolution, I think. This is nowhere near the Lee you would have gotten over 10 years ago. Sometimes, I go, man, I kind of seem like I'm Gandhi here at times, but it's just, yeah, it's just kind of one of those type of deals. So, speaking of, self-reflection and, going down memory lane and all that, thinking of good and bad, we finally had watched the Martin TV reunion. This was 30 years in the making, y'all. We had watched this, and for those of you that have not watched it yet, you were not aware there was even a Martin TV reunion, which you can do right now. If you have Amazon Prime, your best bet is to basically launch that little Prime TV app on your smart TV. And you can then go get yourself a 7-day BET Plus subscription. And you can watch the Martin reunion that way. Or you could just deal directly with BET Plus themselves. And I believe they have some type of a trial that you can check out. But that's how we basically were able to check it out. It's about 92 minutes. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I liked how they handled the passing of Tommy Ford. I liked that they had pretty much did a nice little segment at the Nipsey's bar. And it was interesting because I kind of felt as though it was weird. And I don't know if they did it by design, but it kind of felt like we were getting the characters from the TV show, but we were also getting the actors themselves when they were offering, thoughts about about Tommy and everything, Tracy Morgan had a nice little cameo remotely, but he had a nice little cameo. Is it Tom? Who's the other guy? Tommy Davidson from In Living Color. He was on there. Brother Man was on there as well. Brother Man, what you doing? Nothing. Just chilling. Brother, getting hungry. Just want to get me some sandwiches. Right? It's just, I fucking love Brother Man. I fucking love Brother Man.
The fact that they had him crawling through the window.
Oh, dude, he struggled.
He did, but he did it. He did it.
That dude fucking struggled like a motherfucker, man. I ain't never seen nobody struggle so hard to get through the fucking window before in my life, man. Goof is asking, how did Tisha Campbell Martin? Well, you know what? Correction. It's now Tisha Campbell dropped the Martin because she had got divorced a couple of, like about 3 years ago. He wants to know, how did she look? Because the last time he saw her was on the final season of Empire. Look, I'll be honest, and I don't mean to make Tam blush. I'm sure Tam will agree, though. Tisha, for 53, that girl is thick in all the right places. It was funny because when they were doing all the introductions, they pretty much had them all coming through the apartment door,
front door.
Just the front door, just like, typical episode of Martin and everything. And when it came to Tanisha Arnold, she came out in this really nice white blazer kind of outfit.
Business suit.
Yeah.
But still classy and cute.
Yeah. You can see her cleavage. You can see a little bit of her waistline, and then when you see Tisha Campbell come out, Tisha Campbell is wearing this she's got
leopard print
bodysuit.
Suit.
I mean that shit was skin tight. Ow, 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 skin tight, Dun, 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 skin tight, And didn't she have like a fedora? A bowler. Didn't she have like a bowler or something around her neck or something like that? I could have sworn she had, or maybe it was her hair.
No, it was, she actually had an extra piece of material made into a bow.
Okay.
And kind of hanging down each side.
Okay. Mama was thick. I'm thinking about that fucking I'm thinking about that one DMX song. Since you gave me the pussy, that ass is getting fatter. That ass had got oh God, yeah, man, buddy. But the other thing I was looking at was her interactions with Martin Lawrence, and we heard off and on over the years how pretty much bygones are bygones. They're okay, that's great. We hear one thing and all right, you're up for working with Martin. Okay, you're up for working with Tisha. Oh, okay, cool, but to actually see them in person,
interacting with each other.
Right. And to my knowledge, this was officially the first time that the two of these people were in the same place at the same time.
Under the same set.
On the same set, right. Because remember, that final season of Martin, they pretty much were doing all their scenes separate. Even right down to the final fucking episode, they were never fucking together. So you're kind of going, Jesus. So this was it was bittersweet to see them together, the hug and then the interactions and then all throughout as they're talking or questions being pitched to one of them, how they would just look at each other and smile, and it was nice. It was okay, all right, they really are they've squashed it,
and they have a mutual admiration for each other.
Yes, that's exactly how it had came off. Carl Anthony Payne, is that his name? He still looks Cole. He still looks the same. I mean, that
just better, actually.
Yeah, he looks more distinguished.
Yes, he does.
Still very recognizable. But I would say out of everybody, as far as who aged the best, Cole aged the best. Number 2, you got to go with Tanisha Arnold.
Pam.
Number 3, I would say Tisha. 4, I would say Martin. I put Martin at 4 because, as we all know, off and on, these past several years, his weight has kind of fluctuated. And right now, he's kind of in that...
On the uptick.
He's not fat. He's just thick. He's not a big bone dude, but he's thick, It was interesting. Martin, now that we're kind of talking about it for the very first time, Martin Lawrence, for me, I want to pick your brain. Did he seem a little bit too, what's the right word? Did he seem a little bit too quiet, a little bit too reserved? Yeah.
Yes. I guess because you're so looking forward to the personality behind the show. Because you were used to the voice, flamboyant, boisterous, person who, did anything and everything to make you laugh. But it was nice, but it was very low key.
Yeah.
Very low key. But that's how he's been for the last little bit, though.
Well, when was the last comedy special? What was the last comedy special he put out there? Because the one that comes to mind off the break that I did see was Run Tell That. And I was kind of expecting
it's been at least 5 years.
I was expecting for that Martin, from Run Tell That. I was expecting for that kind. He was very, very reserved, y'all. It was just.
He was.
I can't believe I'm getting ready to say this, but I'm kind of going. Anyway, we could slip him a little something, some weed or something. I know he was having problems with drugs and all that. During Martin at times, but. Can we slip him a little something so he can, get some pep? He was just, and everything was, it wasn't yes, no. It was just kind of one of those, I echo those same sentiments that Carl, and I would just, thanks y'all.
Not a whole lot of original thought.
Yeah.
Actually, he was probably the most animated, in the Snoop Dogg segment.
Yes, good observation. Yes, it was like, wow, so this is what it takes to see you get livened up? This is what it takes to get you feeling all, we got to have Snoop Dogg out there playing some shit from 30 years ago. That's how we get you excited. Oh, he was singing them lyrics. He knew them bitches.
Word for word.
Word for word. They homed in on him many times. As he was fucking lip syncing the fucking D-O-double-G. I'm going, okay, I see how it is. Yeah, everything else was just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I echo that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the second, kind of the second bright light, if you want to call it that, that you really saw was his admiration for Tisha, in reference to when he would talk about certain things, what he would say in reference to the responses of some of the things that she would say. You could see twinkles, in his eye and true unparalleled admiration, probably still some, little bit of unraveled feelings on that one. But that was really it. Other than that, it was really just very low key. But, with everybody together, it worked. It was a good reunion special. It did what it was supposed to do. It took you down memory lane, and it really made you remember that for people who, grew up on the first run. Mm-hmm. It really took you back and just looking at that and where you were, what you were doing. How many times did you watch that particular episode?
Right.
So, and it's kind of funny just to see some of the things in the old apartment. You're like, damn, I had that. Damn, I had that. You're like, damn, I feel old.
I just got to rap before I fucking move on. Cause see, once you get me on a DMX, I'm just, I'm getting that shorty. Like what you want, what you need. All for nothing, cause I got what you front. I see you with your baby father, but it don't matter. You gave me the pussy, that ass is getting fatter. Look at that shorty, make me wanna do something tonight. I know right. When I see right, shorty better to give me the green light. She tight. Yeah, it was nice. You saw the twinkle in their eyes. That for me was really it was worth watching the reunion special just to see that this wasn't about a paycheck or, like this was legit, nah, man, what squashed is squash, any beef, any, it almost kind of made me feel how I felt when I, after all those years, when I hadn't spoken to my friends from high school and I had, reconnected with them and, it felt like old times and it was like, okay, we're literally picking up like literally right where we left off. And that's how it felt when you were watching the Martin special, that reunion special. And I know Jimmy Fallon and a few others, they've asked Martin leading up to that special, okay, so what's going on? You going to do a reboot? Like, what's up? And he's pretty much said, yeah, you know what? Without Tommy, Tommy Ford, it's like this, it's not possible. It's just not. His whole thing is never say never, but he highly doubts it. Now, he did say he would love to do some type of a project with the surviving cast members. So I don't know whether, look, I'll say this. If anybody could make it work with the surviving members of Martin under the right script, I have a lot of faith in Tyler Perry. If there's anybody that I see that, you know what, yes, I think he would.
Can't you see Medea meets Big Mama's house?
Whoa. That is a cash cow waiting to happen, man. Seriously, that is a cash cow waiting to happen. Whether it is as original characters or if you were to bring back Martin as a reboot, I think Tyler Perry and his production company should be the ones that Martin and them work with. Because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it, and I said, well, what could you do exactly as far as the Martin reboot? Because remember, the very last episode, Martin was joining Gina in L.A. Okay? So what has happened since then? Has Martin been successful since... Right,
he joined her.
Right. You know what?
How did that turn out?
Right. What exactly happened? Should you stay out there in L.A.? That way you can kind of get past the death of Tommy. Now you're gonna have to acknowledge, I think, the death of Tommy. I did think about whether or not you should try and recast the role, and it's kind of one of those. God, man, who the fuck would you even? And I was thinking about it, and I said, man, if he was a little bit taller, and if I could really tell that from a comedic standpoint, he's got the timing, but I don't feel he has the comedic pacing down. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Malik Yoda. If he had just a little bit more height, I was like, I could kind of,
I could see where you're going with that, but he doesn't have the comedic timing for it.
Exactly. Then another person I was thinking of was Luke Cage himself, Mike Coulter. I'm going, could you maybe have him as the new Tommy, right? And it's kind of like...
See, here's the thing.
Because he's done some Tyler Perry stuff, right? Didn't he do some Tyler... Or am I thinking somebody... I might be thinking of somebody else. I might be thinking of somebody else.
I don't think so. See, here's the thing with that. Is majority of the people that either watched on the first run or the people who are catching it on the reboots and the reruns.
Yeah.
You're really going to have a hard time convincing those people if you're trying to replace him. You better do an addition to it, because trying to replace him might be the death of whatever you're trying to do. Bring in an addition that can be an additive to it, not a replacement for him. Because I think people that are a fan or are fans of Martin and the original run, I'm not so sure that you'd really, really have to find a very strong character actor to mesh with all of them.
It's interesting because I was thinking about it. It's interesting because I was thinking about it off and on since we watched the reunion, and I was saying to myself, all right, as far as in the world of entertainment, when a major actor, maybe they've passed and their character has to continue on, or maybe there was a contract dispute and that actor decided, okay, you know what, I'm done with this. I was thinking, okay, what's a good scenario where, okay, this guy wasn't trying to be like, he wasn't trying to portray the character like the previous actor. He was just doing his own unique take and it won fans over. I'm reminded of when Roger Howarth had left One Life to Live, and I think ultimately he had went to what's the soap shows that was on CBS back in the day? Was it a
As the world turns?
I think he went to As the World Turns as Paul something. And then he was locked over there for a couple of years. And the producers and everybody over at One Life to Live, they were interested in bringing back the Todd Manning character. And ultimately they had decided, okay, you know what? Let's just recast it. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and recast it. And ultimately they had went with Trevor St. John. And I remember when ultimately we found out, oh, Trevor St. John is Todd Manning. I remember going, I was ice cold. But then as time progressed, I was like, his Todd Manning is actually pretty damn good. It was a new take. It was a fresh take, I felt. And then, man, once Roger got out of his contract, and he was like, I kind of want to go back to One Life to Live. Producers were in euphoria, and then we got to see both of these guys go at it, and you're like, now you're seeing them head to head. And I remember during that time frame, fans were divided because it was like, man, only one of these guys, where this story arc is going. Will the real Todd Manning step up, please? Will the real Todd Manning stand up? All right, so you just was going, but it was very divided. But the majority was over on Roger's side, and ultimately he won the right and everything. So I thought about that. That's one that had came into mind.
The other thing is you have to have that time to win an audience over.
Yeah.
Because most of us, when we have a actor or actress who plays a part, whether soap opera or otherwise, you identify that person with that part.
Right.
And to change for another person for the same part, it takes a minute, and you have to be very strong to win over people in reference to the fact that they love that other person in that part.
Which is why I don't think they should recast.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, basically.
Yeah.
And, okay, don't recast, but you're going to have to bring someone just as strong as a counterpart. Not recast him as recasting his character, but recasting as bringing somebody strong enough who can mesh with the group.
I have a good pick. What do you think about Terry Crews?
That's an interesting pick,
I think Terry Crews would be a damn good new character, of course, but I think Terry Crews would be.
I think that's an interesting pick. I think that would be interesting.
So if they were to do that's money talking. So if they were to do a reboot, every time Lee's phone rings, another dollar sign. But no. So what do you? What? It's highly unlikely. But let's all just entertain a reboot for a second. Are we picturing this reboot in California, or is Martin and the crew coming back home? What's got more? What's got more? This would be interesting.
Coming back home.
I think so too.
Coming back home as like a reunion, as like a why did I get married to, or as a retreat, or homecoming, or take your pick.
You know what I think then? Okay, adding on top of that then. Okay, so coming back home. Do you think that now what's the circumstances for coming back home? I think the route you should go.
You could go with Tommy's funeral.
You could either go with Tommy's funeral or Martin's mom died.
Shit. Martin's mom died would have been 15 years ago. Well, okay, 12.
Because you could probably make an argument that she was maybe in her 50s. No, you don't think 50s?
No, I think 60s.
Really? Think so. 60, 70, 80. Okay. Okay. So 60s. Okay. So it's kind of.
I mean, it's possible.
It's kind of believable.
It's possible, but I think it would be more believable if you. I mean, of course, you could do a mom's.
Yeah.
But I think
Late
it
50s,
would.
early
I think
60s.
it would be more entertained if it was Tommy. Because he's still a part of the original cast. Martin's mom was cool and all, but she was like a couple of one-offs.
Here's why I said go with the mom. I'm thinking of a snowball domino effect. I'm going with the impression that Martin and Gina are still together. I'm thinking that at this point they have had a couple of kids. I'm picturing somewhere between 2 to 3 kids. All right. I'm picturing them coming back home because Martin's mom died, and as a result of that, he's pretty much coming over because there's obviously a house, Mom's house, right? So what's going to happen with Mom's house? Maybe Martin is trying to figure out a way to still keep the home. I see how you're looking at it as far as, okay, hey, Tommy had passed. This is what's, basically going to bring them back. I can see that, but okay, looking past that, okay, you go past Tommy's, Martin and Gina are back because Tommy had died. They're going to his funeral and all that. But what's going to make Martin and Gina stay?
As in not just a one-off, but
Exactly.
actual spin-off sitcom.
Right. Because you've already said it would be more interesting if they came back home.
Or he could just be relocated.
Who's relocated?
Martin.
So what?
So he's a big wig at a sister station, and they want him to come back and take over his old failing station.
Ooh, that shit does happen all the time too. Yeah, okay. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
And he could then go into his real name is Gregory, but basically Martin's boss.
Right.
He could now be Martin's boss. For up and coming talent, new.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Because at this point, I'm picturing Martin. He's got to be doing like a Sirius XM show, a webcast, or he's got to be doing something by, I'm picturing that, right? Okay. So see, there's enough that's there.
Oh yeah.
Just what we gave you guys, there's enough there for a reboot. The question is, do they want to? I'll tell you what's going to be the key for Martin Lawrence and them in deciding whether or not they want to go ahead and do this reboot. If I'm the Martin people over there, I'm going to be looking at what happened with the Will and Grace reboot that had came about. Because they had came back a couple of years ago. Okay. I would look at that. I would look at that reboot of the one and only new season of Mad About You. That was just that was a big old fucking bomb. Okay. We got Kelsey Grammer hyping it up and everything, but right, we're gonna see the return of Frasier. If I were Martin Lawrence and crew, I'm gonna be paying very close attention to, if he hasn't already, start paying attention to all of these fucking reboots, because I think that would really be the telling tale on whether or not.
Missing one point.
What's that?
What did that special do? What kind of numbers did that special pull in?
I would love to know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're looking at how are the ratings,
Yeah.
What kind of downloads do we got? How, rewatch, whatever. That plus all the reboots that are coming about now and what they did right and what they can improve upon.
Right.
If they were even going to consider it.
I don't see any ratings numbers.
Yeah, you may not for that.
Well, it came out about a month ago.
Yeah, but
let me see.
because it's BET versus,
Oh, that don't matter. You can still usually,
okay.
yeah, you can still usually. I don't see anything about it right now as far as that.
So yeah, it's just obviously a couple different scenarios, a couple different things, taking all the analysis, of what it did, and then the willingness of the cast.
The fact that it was exclusive to BET Plus and it was not made available on just regular BET, that's not good. So at this point, you would have to wonder how many people had signed up during that particular time frame to check out the special, and then how many people had ended up watching the special. The fact that BET hasn't put out any type of a statement that oh wow, we had got great numbers, that might be but to the point I was making earlier, you pay attention to all of those things. You look at the Nash Bridges movie that had came out earlier this year, right? I don't know if they did the good of enough job necessary to be able to, because they did that movie in a way they were hoping to pick up.
To basically, it was a soft
Yeah.
landing, if you want to call it that. A
soft launch.
A soft launch, that's what it is.
For a reboot.
But the other thing is, you really have to look at being in and now and what people want to see versus half nostalgia. Nostalgia would be great for 1 or 2 episodes, but it's not going to be enough to carry a season. Like, people wanting to watch it for nostalgia. I want you to take me back down memory lane. I want to feel what I felt, 15, 20, years ago, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed where I was in that time of my life, or whatever have you. But either way, it's a nostalgia tour type of deal versus, hey, this, is pretty damn interesting and it's keeping me, and maybe you have a series like that. Okay, well, they get you in with the nostalgia, but actually that's part of what made Maverick so damn good, is they got you in with the nostalgia, but they had the actors to back that shit up.
Maverick? Oh,
Top Gun.
Huh?
Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
And
I was thinking James Garner there. I'm like,
no, not
Brett Maverick.
Not that far back. But no, they got you in with the nostalgia, but they had a serious cast that could back that shit up and got you invested in them as well as the franchise.
What do you guys think? I mean, I think we need to put the spotlight on you guys. Would you all like to see a Martin reboot? Based off some of the stuff that we've talked about so far, would you guys like to see a Martin reboot? And if so, what are the circumstances you want to see for that reboot? Is it a reboot that you want to see go on for at least a guaranteed 4 seasons? Because we got to remember the way some of these TV networks operate. I had learned this firsthand too, by the way, when I was taking my television class last semester. A lot of these networks, they're not trying to hear or know, oh, only 1 season, only 2 seasons. They want a 4, 5-year commitment and up. Okay, so is that something that you guys would want to see? Or what? What would you like to see happen with them, if at all? So definitely sound off on that. I'm curious where you guys' mindset is in regards to that. So let us know. But interesting position. It's definitely an interesting position. But the reunion special, all in all, I would definitely say y'all need to go out of your way.
Yeah.
Definitely represent and check it out. My biggest regret was we didn't watch it the night that it had premiered, because it would have been nice to have been interacting with everybody else in real time while it was all going on. You know,
Agreed.
That
You know,
would've been
actually, I
nice.
was talking with one of my coworkers, Tiffany, and I was asking her. I said, "Oh, you watched that Martin Reboot?" And she's like, "No," which I was completely shocked, because she's a big, pop culture fan and stuff like that. So she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go check that out tonight." So I assume in the next couple days she probably will.
I'm curious what she had thought about it, and then Tasha as well. I'm curious.
Yeah,
what
I
Tasha,
haven't talked with her to see how she liked it. I haven't even told her I watched it yet.
Eddie said that he likes the ideas that we brought up to justify a reboot. He's picturing 2 to 3 seasons max would be good enough.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because I think anything after that, you're gonna wear out your welcome.
Yeah,
In reference to, I don't think there's enough material there to carry it for more than that.
I'm having a hard time picturing. I really am. I really am. I'm trying to picture. Yeah, you don't want it to be and then the honeymoon is over pretty quick, you know. It's like, yeah,
Right.
this ain't nothing. The reruns are better. Like, that's the last thing you want for people to
Right.
say. Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. It was fun going down memory lane because I remembered when Martin had premiered, and when Martin had premiered, that was what was that, 92? That was 92 when it had premiered. Yes, you don't want it to be like the Connors. Yes, you know how I look at the Connors, and nobody else has fucking, and I think it's because if you're not a fan of TV shows from yesteryear, then you're not gonna get some of the references that me and Tams
True.
bring up. But you know what I think of when I look at the Connors? The Connors is a glorified, updated version of Archie Bunker's Place.
Okay. Well, yeah, that would make sense.
Convince me otherwise.
Well, the funny thing is, if you really like the actors, in reference to the actors that are portraying those parts in the original, if you have a spinoff that has some strong characters as well as the ones that you already like, you could have a couple of really good seasons of good spinoff.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, before we actually got together, I only knew about All in the Family. I did not know about Archie Bunker's Place.
I knew about Archie Bunker's Place. It was interesting though because the weirdest thing, I remember it when I was a kid, and I just, even way back then, I kind of remember going, "Where's Mike? Where's Gloria? Where's Lionel? Where's Mrs. Jefferson? Where's George Jefferson?" Like,
Yeah, whereas all those people,
right? Where's Edith?
Yeah,
And I just kind of remember going, "Man, this is boring. It's just a bunch of old people." Right, and even little Steffi and the other girl, that wasn't enough to keep my attention when I was a kid. So I didn't really start to appreciate Archie Bunker's Place until I was in my late teens, and back when Nick at Night was still actually showing classic TV shows.
I know,
right?
I know.
I mean, you look at the shit they're showing now, you're like, this ain't my Nick at Night. You know?
Right.
What the fuck is this shit, right?
Right.
But back when they were actually showing, retro TV, in my late teens, it was like, oh, this is kind of, okay, this is nice. It's not as good as All in the Family, but,
I take it.
And I will still tell people to this very day, because, there's always, somehow at one another, it always comes up. Well, when should have All in the Family ended? Oh, quite simple. All in the Family should have fucking ended once Mike and Gloria left for California. Because remember, they went on for like an additional, what was it? I think 2 or 3 seasons after Mike and Gloria left for Cali. I'm going, no. That just should have been the end of the series right then and there. And then as far as going into Archie Bunker's Place, here's the thing. A lot of people sleep on this. Archie Bunker's Place was actually a really damn good show those first 2 seasons.
It was.
because the dude that was his business partner, Martin Balsam.
Yeah.
Balsam. The only reason why I even know that name is because he was a really good
character actor
in movies, right? Movies. He wasn't really known for
Bashir. Martin
TV
Bashir.
sure. No.
No?
It's like Balsam.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it is.
Baslam. Yeah. So like he was good. He was a very good, because like, okay, you don't have Mike anymore. Okay, you don't have the meathead anymore. So you got to have somebody that is a very good, strong counterpart to bounce off of. And he was the perfect foil.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
And then once you take him out of the equation,
It was boring.
it was really boring.
It was boring.
You know, there's only but so much, Stan and, Blanche left me again. There was only but so much of that shit. And then Harry at the bar.
Right.
There was only but so much of them.
Or the bartender.
Yeah. The other problem with Archie Bunker's place. Okay, great. You got Steffi. That's great. Okay, great. You got the girl that's Steffi's cousin. Okay, that's great. But that's it. Everybody else was old. Even the guy that was dating Steffi's cousin. Remember? And they broke up at the end. Even he was dude that did the voice of Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. Is it Barry? I think it's Barry Gordy.
No.
Yeah, because I remember every time I look at his name, I always think of Barry Gordy. And I know it's not Barry Gordy, but I think his name is actually Barry Gordy.
It might be Barry, but I don't know. Gordon?
No, I'm pretty sure his name is Barry fucking Gordy.
Oh, is his name?
Yeah,
His name is Barry fucking Gordy.
Like Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah, Barry fucking Gordy. Let me see here. Let's see. Give me a second here. And I'll just say Archie. I'll just say Archie Bunker's place.
Cast.
Every time I see that fucking name, I just go, oh, it's kind of sounds like Barry fucking Gordy. Let me see here. I'm on the casting right now. Okay, I'm looking at it. Alan Melvin, Danielle, Brisbos. You know what? If somebody could go on the Martin Balsam.
No, that's the.
No, Murray.
Yeah, that's
who we were talking about earlier. Yeah, Murray.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
Barry Gordon.
Didn't I just say Barry Gordon? I just said Barry Gordon literally 60 seconds ago.
I told you, every time I look at the name, I go, oh, Barry Gordy. It's like, yeah, Gordon. Yeah, Barry Gordon. Right.
That's coming from the same person who calls Intamans enemas.
They are enemas.
No, they're not. They're Intamans.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, they didn't have enough young folks. True. And they really did a piss poor job. Also remember during this time in the 80s, breakdancing, bebop, beatboxing. All that was really starting to come into play. And I'm not saying you had to go more urban, but
it was very much a show for the kids' parents. So the kids of that.
No, if you're talking about Archie Bunker's place.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is where the culture was when that show was on, and how poor of a job Connor and crew did not adapting to what was happening.
And
because let's be honest, that show was really for the diehard, all in the family people.
Right, but here's what I'm also saying as well. Yes, I agree with you, but they're also gearing that show into not only the all in the family crew or hardcore group, but they're also gearing it towards people of that age. Maybe not necessarily bringing in the younger younger group into the fold.
We're saying the same thing, but we're
different
approaching it differently as always. You're going through the rear and I'm going through the front. That's how we're doing it. Yeah, we're saying the same thing though. Yeah. That was. How the fuck did we get on this topic anyway?
Connors.
Ah, yes, the Connors, or as Orson Welles says it.
Oh Lord.
The French people. Speaking of nostalgia, we were binging on a few episodes of I Love Lucy the other day, and god damn how that show still holds up. I mean, seriously, I was just, now, I told you I was going to bring this up. So, did you all know that the original person Lucille Ball had in mind to be
Vivian
Vance's character,
Which
Ethel Mertz. So check this out. So I said to you, it's a female TV actress, obviously, right? So now your other clue I think I had gave you was for her respected time, and her legacy. She was a great character voice actor. So do you know who I'm talking about?
No, because I never thought any more about it.
All right. Do you want to take a crack at who, or she always did side roles, but when she finally was handed a TV show of her own, she did well. But for the longest time, she was a side actress. Mainly worked behind the scenes as a voice actress.
That'd be Arthur.
No.
Maud.
Nope.
Donna Reed?
Nope.
I don't know.
You were in the right ballpark, though. I'll give you Betty White. Goofy saying Betty White. That's a damn good one too. This one only had so by the time she got her own TV show, this was pretty much her one and only TV show where she was at the helm. If I were to say the next thing, the last clue, I literally would be giving it away. I'll give you one more clue. Sadly, she was not able to see her series through. The one and only TV series that she was on, she was not able to see her series through.
Yeah. Because she passed?
Yes. They tried to use stockpile footage to represent her for key episodes, including when a baby was born. Man, I can't believe.
I knew at one point, but I don't remember now.
B. Bernadette.
Oh, yeah.
B. Bernadette for you all.
For Petticoat Junction.
Yeah. And also, you guys know her better as the voice of Betty from the Flintstones. But yeah. Lucille Ball wanted B. Bernadette as her original Ethel Mertz. But she couldn't do it.
I can see that.
She couldn't do it because she was tied up to another project. However, she did make frequent guest appearances on I Love Lucy. And you already know William Frawley, that wasn't the original pick. Yeah, I forgot the name of the other guy because I didn't give two shits about him. But the B Bernadette, that just because I'm a fan of bees, so and sometimes my brain I just have useless knowledge for trivia shit. So
true story actually. When I first started in nursing, I started to go into a little bit more into nursing, but just decided on not to. But I worked in a assisted living, and I think the first little bit that I knew of this person didn't really click at all. Just like, oh, okay, whatever. And the more I thought about it and looked at her, I thought, name? You do look familiar. And even now, the more I think about it. So, we had William Frawley's, which is Fred Mertz, cousin, who lived there.
Wow. The stories
And it has to
he
be,
had to tell.
And it had to be first cousin because they look so much alike. So much alike.
Did you pick his brain?
Who?
Did you pick
Who's
his brain?
her?
Oh, did you pick her brain?
No. Never did.
Why?
I think by the time I actually put two and two together, there was some ill health.
Oh. Wow. Just the stories you could have found out.
I know.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy.
But it was interesting. I was like, oh, interesting. And yes, the resemblance was very, very stark.
And this was who again? The cousin?
Had to have been first cousin.
Wow.
Had to have been first cousin because they looked too much alike not to be first cousin.
Wow. If they weren't related,
No, they were related.
I was about to say, if they weren't related.
Because I think I did ask her, and she said yes.
You pull a predator. You are an ugly mother.
She was cute for her age and at that time. But yeah, I do remember asking her, and she said yes. But that's all I remember, and of course that's been many years ago, guys. So
she's definitely long
Oh
gone.
yeah, well she actually passed when I was still working there.
Oh wow, okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, any conversations, unless it was, really, really a vague one. No, unfortunately, I don't remember much about it besides the fact that she was.
I was telling the listeners on Monday's show about the new Click This podcast with Kevin Nash.
Oh,
yeah, I was telling them about that and everything. By the way, if you haven't watched, go watch it. The second episode actually had dropped earlier today from what I had saw. So, but it just got me starting up again, and it reminded me of a conversation we had just a couple of days ago, just for a hot minute. We were talking about how the podcast industry has changed so much in the last 10 years. And it's amazing because you rewind it back 10 years ago, people were trying to still wrap their brain around what the fuck is a podcast. What exactly does this entail?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, even to the point when you used to watch PW Insider.
Yeah.
Yeah. PW.
No.
PW.
No. Pro Wrestling Report.
Pro Wrestling Report.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, you do what? Because actually, when we started first talking, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm listening to blah 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 blah," and usually it was Pro Wrestling Report. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What channel is that on?" He's like, "It's not on a channel." I mean, he said it's not on a channel. I was like, "Wait a minute, what? How do you listen to it?" Well, you listen to it online. You do.
Yeah.
Remember that conversation?
Yeah, I remember that conversation. Wow. I hadn't thought about that conversation in wow. As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
So, yeah.
It's amazing how the podcast industry has changed so much because, it's weird. It's really weird. We've been at this for 10 years, and it's just been so weird just seeing this journey that the podcast industry has been on because, like I said, when I first entered it, people were still trying to figure out what the fuck is a podcast and being very leery about, Because if it was too technical or too, like they motherfuckers just you know what, whatever, do you, man? That's fine and everything, But it has become. Now this is not similar to what points I brought up Monday. We are in a day and age right now where it's new media versus old media. And what I mean by that is when I first started, okay, you're pretty knowledgeable about pro wrestling, you know your shit. You can hold your own pretty good, in analyzing and yada 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 yada. We're at this digital turn of how people are consuming their entertainment and all of that, right? We're pretty much right there at that digital turn, right? We're riding, and we rode that wave with a handful of other folks, and it's amazing to see 10 years later who's still around. Because those that maybe had started around the same time we did, it's like there's the few, the proud, the only. It's like one of those type of deals, right? And so when I was coming up, if you had the passion, the drive, and there was definitely a way for you to get, and you were knowledgeable, there was a way for you to get your voice heard. There was a way for you to get acknowledged, recognized, and everything, right? That's the old media. That's the old guard. The new media now is
whoever's first.
Well, not that. The new media is now the experts themselves in the industry in which they worked in or are currently working in are now, okay, I'm going to do a show. It's not just happening in wrestling, people. It's happening in baseball. It's happening in basketball. You name the sport. Okay, you look at the ESPNs, the FS1s, or you pick up that Chicago Tribune or Washington Post, and that's great that you've got the Tony Kornheisers and the Michael Wilbons and the Rob Parkers and all that. They. In their own respected time, Chris Broussard's, they all, made great names for themselves with their editorial pieces and all of that, right? Very knowledgeable, all good men, great men in their own respected right? But they are now part of that old guard of media that I'm talking about, because now it's being dominated by the experts that are playing in these respected industries and these respected fields themselves. And now the person that is consuming said media, well, what is the incentive for listening to you? Why should I listen to you when I can listen to the expert that's over here? Why should I give you Patreon money when I've got the expert over here? You feel me? That's where we're at now with this new media. And I'm not concerned, I'm not cautious, but I legit am concerned about what's going to happen in the next 10 years. With the media, because these people that were part of the old guard, are they gonna get lost in the shuffle with all of these new media guards that are rising? Don't get me wrong, I love seeing, because when it's all said and done, these people, these experts that are now forming and making up this new guard, now that they pretty much, okay, technology has, okay, I all right, we get it, we see how this works, how this is laid out, okay, great, let me do, right? But I'm curious where things are going to be the next 10 years from now, because we're always, as a society, it's always on to the next thing, right? And
it's a really interesting evolution.
Yeah. It really is. Like, I'm very, very curious. Okay, wow, these shows are still here 10 years later. Okay, who's going to be around 10 years after that to say, hey, we've been doing this for 20 years now? You know what I'm saying? And where is just the media turn going to be in general? One thing I do know for certain, this new guard media is here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
It is here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's always going to be a audience out there
For someone who's done it before.
who wants to hear from the experts.
No. Basically.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, basically we're saying the same thing. Basically, they're wanting to hear from someone who has walked in their shoes, been there, done that, done it before. So versus an analyst who has just studied it, read about it, talked about it, and has the knowledge versus the actual life experience.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder, can the two continue to coexist, because that's why I'm saying that next 10 years should be very interesting, because I just feel in my heart of hearts, your Skip Baylesses, your Rob Parkers, your Tony Kornheisers, your Michael Wilbons. We're going to get to that point where all of those guys are going to be, right? And you're already seeing it right now with the new guard, right? You got
yes.
You got the Draymond Greens that's doing their podcasts. You got the, you name it. You got the Pat McAfees. You got, right? I mean, look, I will say this in addition to everything that I just said. This new media turn that we're in right now, it's not for everybody. Okay? It's not for everybody. You can have people that go, oh man, I can easily do that. I can fucking crush it. And then when the light goes red and you're live on the air, motherfuckers be sounding like fucking Shakespeare and all that, talking with friends and colleagues before going live. And then for whatever respected reason, once they go live, so it's not for everybody. It is you gotta have a particular.
You have to have a particular charisma, and you have to have the knowledge, the charisma, and the charisma again to essentially draw people into hearing what you have to say.
Right.
Perfect example. One end, you have, guess who? Tony Romo. The other end, you have Drew Brees. One absolutely excelled, has the gift of gab, has the fact that you want to hear what he has to say. And then on the other end, people love Drew Brees. He's a great quarterback, fantastic quarterback actually, and can play the game through and through all day long. But to hear him talk about it, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I think I'll turn the channel.
Yes. I'll see you and I'll raise you. The Bus. Jerome Buss.
I haven't had a chance to hear him.
When he was on Football Night in America many years back. Oh, man. I mean, you saw the potential. But you just couldn't help but wonder if, okay, can we scratch at this, stay on it for a good minute, and will this guy eventually blossom? Never happened. It sadly never happened. You wonder if they have the right people in their corner, whether it's someone pushing them to be better, do better, or is that just as good as you're going to get, even though they're being pushed? Yeah. I don't know, just food for thought. It's not something you have to answer. It's a good thought. It's a good question. Where do you see this digital media turn? Where do you see that maybe people
there's always going to be a thirst for knowledge in reference to someone who's done it before.
Okay.
So,
but just in the next 10 years,
that is not going to go anywhere.
Next 10 years, what do you think might happen?
I think you're going to have generational separation. I think part of the separation is going to be a little bit to the people who are, okay, well, this is how I've always gotten it, and this is how I'm going to continue to get it. Versus, okay, the newer generation is like, okay, tell me the facts. Tell me, okay, you know what? I liked him, so I want to listen to him, hear what he has to say. I really think there is going to be a little bit of a divide. Not terrible. I do also think that the people who are charismatic, have the gift of gab, can entertain an audience while having the knowledge of the product, I think they'll still continue.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think that within the next 10 years, if anything, in regards to all the shit that happened with the previous primary election and the age of misinformation and Jesus, dude, you didn't cross off all your 5 fucking W's, man. How did you miss out on, you look at all of the misinformation that was put out there in regards to Uvalde, Texas and everything, right? You know, now, I mean, so many people are made to look like fucking chumps, right? You got them all apologizing and, oh, you know, well, based off of the information that we had, you know, we ran with that. And right now everybody's got, I think that there is going to be a resurgence and a rededication to, okay, we're reporting this, but we're making sure that all our X's and O's is, I do see that making a comeback because of everything. There's just the totality. Because I feel now more than ever that when you don't have all your X's and O's crossed off, you'll lose credibility real quick.
Well, we're in the day and age where...
But see, look, people didn't care about that before. That's my whole point.
Agreed.
Remember, because the current climate that we're in right now, motherfuckers want to be first.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Perfect example. There was a podcast. I don't know the name of it. I don't want to know the name of it. But there was some podcast that had made this bold claim online. Breaking news. First, WWE is going to have Monday Night Raw go back to TV 14. You know, oh, you know, we have all the details. We'll talk about it on our show. You know, sign up for our Patreon. You know, all that shit, right? And then, like, about maybe, I don't even know if the motherfucker made it an hour. But nigga basically had retracted his statement and was saying some fucking bullshit about, you know, you know, apparently it's not going to happen as early as we thought. It's not going to happen this coming Monday, but apparently it will happen at some point. We'll explain more on our show. It's like, okay, so now you're...
So, okay. So, first of all, that could be between now and the next 15 years. But to go back to what Lee was saying in reference to, you don't have to, we're in a day and age where people just want to be first, not right. They just want the clickbait. They want the eyes on their product. So they say the first thing that they hear that comes through their feeds or their sources or whatever before they fact check, before they do any of that. And it's just, actually, sorry, that could be within the next 15 years or, 2 days. We're not really sure. We don't even know if it's true.
Right. Exactly. That's the one thing that I had learned a lot when I was taking my TV course last semester was how these media companies, how they operate. Because there's a certain narrative that they're trying to put out there, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I think we've gone down that rabbit hole as far as it needs to, because I just find it so fascinating. I will say this. I remember there was one assignment I was given by my professor. And one of the things that she had asked us was, okay, pretend that you have your own newspaper and you're looking at some of your competitors. Look at somebody who you would consider to be a competitor. What are some of the things that you're noticing from that competitor that turns you off, that you want to use that to your advantage? And so, I don't know. I think in my case, I might have went with, I don't know, you guys in the New York area, I don't know if it's the New York Post, but there's some newspaper where, you know, they glorify the hell out of death and all kinds of shit, put it on their fucking front cover as a splash page, you know, all that shit. And I'm like, man, it just comes off kind of sleazy looking, right? So we could like name up to a maximum of 5 competitors. But I remember one of the joints I was looking at was, I think it was the New York Post. I might have the paper wrong. Another one I was looking at was the Inquirer. And then another one I was looking at, I can't remember the name, but I just remember as far as, okay, what I would want in my paper, what I would want for my media company: transparency, honesty, the facts, nothing but the facts. I'm not trying to persuade you as to why you should hate the Republicans. I'm not trying to persuade you as to why you should hate Democrats. I'm not trying to persuade you as to why guns are bad or why guns are good, right? These are the facts.
You form your own opinion.
You form your own opinion.
You know, I just had a thought as you were talking about that. You know, one thing that I don't see as much anymore that used to be all over the place between the, you know, probably before 80s, but, you know, late 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, the Inquirer. In reference to, they didn't really care if the story was true or if it wasn't true. They pretty much put it on there, and then if they got sued, well, hell, they made enough money with whatever they sold with the paper to pay for whatever lawsuit. So, but it's something that I don't see. I mean, I'm sure it's still out there, but it's not as prevalent or prominent as it used to be.
Which paper now?
The Inquirer.
Nah, you know, nowadays it's pretty much.
So due to basically stringing it all together in reference to people want information, but they want the right information versus, yeah, just tell me something that that's juicy and gossipy versus here's the truth.
Perfect example. Let's up the ante a little bit. We were talking about it last night. When Scott Hall passed, you remember just a big old ball of conception, miss fucking information that was out there about Scott Hall. Motherfuckers jumping out there first. Scott Hall's dead, and it's like, my dude,
he hasn't even been taken off life support yet.
Yeah, and how did they justify it? Well, we told you he was dead, and look, 10 hours later, we told you we were right. We stand by our article. And it's like,
yeah, that would have been fine if it was about 10 hours later, versus let's just jump the gun and, the poor man hasn't passed yet and you're putting his family through all that crap.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, E-Rock said it best. We have sources.
Yeah. The Grim Reaper.
We have sources, not fucking copy and paste. The greatest fucking, I'm still reminded, because of this whole digital turn and all that shit that we're in, I'm still reminded of that time that we went to go see Shawn Michaels at the Barnes & Noble at Tyson's Corner in Virginia. That shit was hilarious, because leading up to that book signing, I had actually sat down and interviewed Shawn Michaels. and it was a 10-minute interview. We were talking about his book, but I was able to get in there some wrestling questions. I remember one of the questions I had asked him was, hey, yo, if Triple H were to ever say to you, hey, look, I want to do one more match, it's my last match, and I would like for you to be my final opponent, and would you take him up on that offer? And I remember Sean saying something along the lines of, hey, man, Hunter is my friend. You know, we're boys, you know, through and through. You know, I haven't really talked with him in a good minute, but, you know, he knows that. So he danced around it, basically. He didn't say.
He danced around it, but he pretty much said yes.
Yes.
And funny enough, retrospective, is they did something, how many years later with Crown Jewel?
It was what, about, God, it feels like maybe it was 3 years ago now with Crown Jewel, where it was DX taking on the Brothers of Destruction.
So, like I said, in retrospective, it's kind of funny.
It was kind of funny, right? But I remember how, I don't know which website had started it, but some website that did not fucking listen to the interview, that did not fucking read in its entirety the transcript of that whole interview that I provided. They basically had said that, and they titled it, Shawn Michaels reveals he's at odds with Triple H and WWE. And then I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I click on it. Lee Sanders of the RCW. I'm like, motherfucker, that nigga ain't say that on my show. What you talking about? I'm reading this shit some more. And they got Shawn Michaels saying, quote unquote, well, me and Triple H have had a fallout. And as a result, I haven't spoke with him or anybody in WWE for many years. Don't think I will. I'm going. And
Can anybody say clickbait? Clickbait.
And I just remember hitting that, whoever was in charge of the website, I remember hitting them up and I said,
take that down now.
I said, yes. Get down, take that shit down now. That's not what the fuck was said in the interview. What the fuck is wrong with you? Right? And they're like, why are you coming at us? You know, we just copied this from another website. And I'm going, and I blazed them.
Shit.
I said, so you just fucking came out and admit to me that you copied this and pasted it from another website. And
Which is original content that you copied and pasted.
And it didn't fucking dawn on you, since the interview was 10 fucking minutes, to go on ahead and listen to the fucking interview just to do some form of journalism and checking that what you're listening to actually matches up to what you're copying and pasting from said site. Well, I didn't hear anything back from them, but they did pull the website down. And then, you know, oh my God, just the amount of damage control
that you have to do.
But the damage was already done. I think that, combined with the review I did of meeting Shawn Michaels at the Barnes and Noble, I think Shawn just said, fuck these guys, and we've been blocked ever since, you know. So it's just like, all right, it is what it is. But yeah, I think a lot more as far as this digital turn. I just think the resurgence of, okay, we need to hold ourselves accountable. You know, because people already feel kind of shady as it is when it comes to media. Right? Yeah. We need to try to win people back. Right? That's where I see things kind of going when it's all said and done. But don't mind Chloe. Chloe is getting her groove on, playing with her favorite toy in the background there. But yeah, very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Once again, and we got started on this because I was basically, you know, hey, yeah, check out the Kevin Nash podcast.
It was really good.
It was really good.
It was really good. I actually enjoyed seeing the two of them, you know, going back and forth and talking about it.
Reminded you of anybody?
No,
didn't remind. Nah, not the slightest clue, right? Yeah, didn't. Nah, you know, we've only done it, you know, almost 10 years together, this show, but it didn't remind me of anything in particular. But you know, yeah, but whatever. I wish I could get a Blue Chew check. I wish I could get that Omaha Steaks check, you know? So, Tams, you know, this is that time now where we mentioned that Wrestling with the Topics is brought to you in part by Omaha Steaks. And folks, I got to tell you, me and Tams, we had a fantastic weekend because on Sunday, oh, man, we had pulled out a couple of 12-ounce ribeye steaks, had it out on the grill. Dogs were in the backyard chasing one another, and, you know, we had got ourselves a nice, good barbecue going on. We had a little bit of KC Masterpiece. Yes, that is barbecue.
I don't even think they still make that anymore.
What, KC Masterpiece?
Uh-huh.
I think I've seen it, you know. Hey, man.
Here and there.
Hey, man, you're fucking up my read. But anyway, so, yeah, you know, buy this shit because, you know, we get a cut of the check, you know. Omaha Steaks. Use the promo code Wrestling with the Topics. And
Wrestling with the Steaks.
You know, or Wrestling with the Steaks, you know, because the dogs are going to be fighting us over them. And, you know, yeah, you know, Omaha Steaks. Promo code, you know, Sanders. Yeah. I'll take that Omaha steak check now, right? I wish I could, you know. Jesus, the amount of ads. Seriously. Just, oh my God. It is fucking ridiculous. I shouldn't be talking because I can just picture the people that's going to be listening to our shows on demand and on the downloads. For you guys that don't listen to the show on demand and on the downloads, we work with so many sponsors that's opposite of what the usual suspects are. It's not even funny, right? But like, man, when you're watching these shows, of course I'm talking about specifically Conrad, I mean, just the dominance of the Omaha Steaks and all this, like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, I gotta sit through this shit? Like, I don't think so. Hey, I got a fun story for you guys. So, some of you guys might have read the synopsis and you were like, what's this about finders keepers for Lee? True fucking story. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. So remember, we did Awesome Con and all that, you know, in June, right? So I was on like a 2-week vacation there from the jobs, from the show, all that shit. So I go back to work, you know, I go back to my my evening gig. And no bullshit, I find money at my job and I'm like, God damn, what a big ass stack of cash. I mean, this was under a fucking, not a money clip, but it was under a, what's the right word I'm looking for? Yeah, it was under a bill, an official bill folder, you know, little thing. I'm like, whoa. So I grab it. You know, I put it, you know, under my shit, and I call for a supervisor, and I'm like, hey, man, I found this. I'm like, holy shit. You know, my boss is like, holy shit. Like, where'd you find that? I'm like, right over here. Where? I'm like, right over here. Just out in the open? I'm like, yeah. You sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. My boss asked me like 3 more times. It was like 5-minute intervals. Where'd you say you found it again? I'm like, where? Oh, right over there. Okay.
Next time, just put a big ass sign. I found it here.
Right, you know, just big ass red arrow here. You know, here. Found here, you know. Your ad here, found right here, you know. So, next thing I know, everybody's like treating me all super nice and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is everybody like... And then I find out, you know, they're like, oh, because you know, you found that money, you know. Oh, man, you're definitely one of the good guys. It was like, Jesus Christ, I've only been working for you guys for like over 2 years. If you didn't know I was a good guy by now, Jesus. like, like, what the fuck, right? So, word gets to me like a week later. You know that money you found? Yeah. Tell me about that. Well, ain't much to tell. You know what you found was $1,000. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, it was $1,000. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, but like nobody's claimed it yet. Say, what? Nobody's claimed it yet. $1,000, huh? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, shit, okay. So what happens? Well, it's gonna go into the vault, and if nobody's claimed it after a month, you found it, it'll be your money. Really? I'm like, yeah. Nah, well, I can forget about that because, somebody's going to trace their steps. They're going to fucking, that's nice. Then as the weeks progress, I've got like different coworker friends of mine. They're like, hey, man, one step closer to getting richer, huh? I'm like, Get closer. And then finally, it was, what was it? Wasn't it last? It was last Friday. So I go in and I'm like, hey, any update on that money? No, nobody's claimed it. Are you serious? Like, yeah. So, what? I could, claim that tomorrow or something, right? Yes, it would have officially been a month. Yes, you could claim it tomorrow. Like, oh, okay, cool. Go to work Saturday. That Saturday. Anybody claim that money? Nope. Get the fuck out of here. Like, nope. Can I, you sure can. So, how do you want that? Would you like that in a money order or, would you like that cash money? I'm like, I can't remember the last time I cashed a money order. I'm thinking, I think it's been 20 years or something since I've done a money order. Oh, okay. So yeah, you want cash. I'm like, yeah, I'll take cash. Talk about things coming full circle. So yeah, your boy actually got $1,000 fucking dollars. I mean, that is, and everybody's just, hey Lee, there's the man, Mr. Moneybags. Hey, you gonna treat us all to lunch? I'm like, I suppose. All I got playing in my mind right now is Tony Bennett. I'm like, stepping out with my baby. The night's gonna be tonight. Right? That's all I'm thinking of right now. And, somebody had said to me, hey, that's kind of cool. You found that money and look how you were rewarded. I said, there is such thing as good karma and there's such thing as bad karma. Everything comes full circle without a shadow of doubt. But isn't that mind boggling, y'all? That nobody, and we were talking about it, and I think you said the best thing, I think you had the best take, which was if that money was lost, the person probably said, man, why even bother? That's a lost cause. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I would like to believe, honestly, that somebody was trying to be a good Samaritan and they were hoping that the staff had found it and basically it would kind of go down like that. Mm-hmm. Because I refuse to believe somebody had lost. Seriously, I mean, I'm sorry, but if my black ass, I would be fucking retracing my steps like fucking Columbo, okay? I would I would be fucking going all over the fucking place trying to establish what the fuck had happened there, but I gotta say, it was a good feeling. It was a really good feeling because, for my entire fucking life, that was the third time I ever won something. Or was rewarded something. Uh-huh. Okay? The other time, how many of you guys remember when Xbox Achievements was, I think it was Xbox 360 Achievements.org or something like that? I used to be on their forums religiously, right down to the point, to this very day. If you all remember that Superman game that came out back in the day where, remember, you had to find, I think it was like 100 kittens that was hidden all across Metropolis, if you guys recall. I think it was kittens. I'm not sure. But for some reason, kittens was the first thing that came into mind. I remember I wrote a guide for that fucking game. So I think it's actually still on that fucking site. There was like 2 guides I had wrote. I can't remember the other one, but one was definitely for that respective Superman game. I think that Superman game, I think that came out for the PlayStation, Xbox. Y'all know exactly the one I'm talking about, where the flying was badass. You know, it reminded you a lot of this Superman mod game in 4K that's running around right now, where basically the city was taken from that Matrix demo that came out, I think, earlier this year. So I remember on that Xbox achievement site, there was a raffle back in the day for the TNA Impact game. And I was like, oh man, like I'm so excited for that game. Oh, that game looks like it's badass. Like there was a whole bunch of hype for that video game, right? And I remember fucking saying, okay, well, let me see if I can enter this contest. And, you know, it's a long shot, but, you know, we'll see what happens. I wasn't on the site for like that whole fucking week after I entered the contest. And then it turns out I actually won the fucking contest. And when I tried to go claim the game, the guys were like, sorry, but, you know, your time to claim the prize had expired and we basically gave it to somebody else. I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, yeah, sorry. I'm like, okay, like, no problem. I'll just go with fucking GameFly. I'll just go fucking rent the game and yeah, I'll do that. And that's exactly what I had did. Oh, I loved GameFly back in the day, too. I don't know if those guys are still around, but back in the day, GameFly was my fucking shit. I used to have, like, 3 games at a time come to my fucking house, and I would just sit on those bitches until I beat the game. And then if I really, really liked it, rare occasions, I would buy it. But I remember I had, from GameFly, checked out the TNA Impact game. And I got to be one of a handful of people out there that not only like that game, but probably like 1 out of maybe 400 people that actually has all the achievements unlocked for that particular game. But that was the second thing that I had won. The first thing that I had ever won, or, you know, hey, you know, here you go. The first thing was, I'm trying to remember. Oh, actually, no. I said that shit out of order. So that money, that was 3. 2 would have been those hot sauces.
Yeah.
Those hot sauces we never ate. Yeah, so because your boy had did the hot challenge, which one was that? Was that the?
That was the first one.
Well, that was the first one. That was the chip, right? We did
That
the chip.
yeah.
That was the chip. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did the fucking 1 chip challenge.
Yes, the 1 chip challenge.
And your man fucking died. And how was I rewarded? I got a year's supply of hot sauce. Hot sauce I never fucking touched.
We gave that shit away like Christmas cookies.
Every month I was like, oh gee, another fucking case of hot sauce. It was OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point he just stopped opening it.
Mm-hmm. I even asked the people that were sending me the hot sauces, I said, hey guys,
To see if he could get a gift card.
could you like just give us an Amazon gift card and we'll call it even? Like, you know, I got a wedding coming up and, you know, we that would do us some good rather than hot sauce.
Yeah, they just kept sending the hot sauce.
They just kept sending the hot sauce. they just kept sending the hot sauce. I'm like, damn. Fucking hot sauce. So that hot sauce was number 2. And then number 1 would be the TNA Impact game. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't able to claim it because, you know, after a week, I wasn't aware there was a fucking time period, you know, but they were like, I was like, oh, fuck, you know. So, What about you? You ever won something? Or was rewarded something that was kind of like, wow, you know? 3 things that come to mind? I used to always try to want to be lucky caller number 18 for the tickets from
Oh, yeah.
WPGC or
I
whatever.
did too.
Oh,
Never did.
Never got them. Yeah.
Never. No, it's very rare for me in reference to winning something. There's been a couple of times, I will tell you, for me, there's always an event that Mary Kay has once, twice a year, and they always do prize giveaways, whether it be jewelry, whether it be cash, whether it be whatever have you, right? And they auto-generate names. And it's like, oh, dang, not me again. So, but that's always been something I want, you want to see your name up there, but that's never happened, unfortunately. But I think the only thing I can remember briefly is there was a raffle drawing, and there was this one thing I wanted, and I wanted it really badly. And so I think I bought like $20 of raffle tickets. And I'm pretty sure I put 15 of it in that one thing. The rest of it was sprinkled here and there between some other stuff. Mm-hmm. But ended up putting it in that one thing, and I ended up getting that. And it was a pair of earrings that I really, really, really wanted. I think that's the only one that comes to mind for me.
Wow.
I think there was one time, I can't remember if it was, I think it was a $10, $20, but this was back in the mid 80s. So I was walking home from church, and I was like, oh, hey, there's money on the ground. And I think it was $20. I was like, oh, there was nobody around. I picked that thing up and stuck it right in my pocket.
Hey, ain't no name on it, Mm-hmm. Ain't no ID. That's the ultimate fucking that's the ultimate fucking fighters keepers, yo. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let's go out on this note. We had teased it earlier. So when I say Ric Flair, what comes to mind?
He's still wrestling?
That's the first thing that comes to mind. Give me the first three things.
Oh no.
No. I'm gonna credit that one. I'm gonna credit that one. Well,
woo!
Okay. What's another one?
His entrance.
Okay. VI had got free tickets to a soccer game for free.
Oh.
Oh shit! Speaking of soccer, wow, I had almost forgot. Because I did the Book It program when I was a kid. All I did was fucking read comic books to my class every single week. And man, they used to love my fucking joint. They used to love my presentations because I would be telling them whatever had went down in the latest issue of Spider-Man, Hulk, or Batman. Man, all the kids would fucking, they'd come close together in a nice little huddle. They'd be over their desk, little hands under their chins and just listening to me tell, and I would get questions afterward, how do you think Spider-Man's going to get out of that jam? They're like, I don't know. I'm hoping that, maybe he'll shoot some webbing in, the guy's eyes and blind him, and that's how he'll break free, and my teachers, they just like, those comic books are not reading materials. Those are not books. I'm like,
reading is reading.
Reading is reading, it's like, and I remember when they tried to have me they tried to send me home with a letter with to my mom, to my dad. These aren't books. My parents laughed their ass off. They're like, where does it say that comic books are like these are like, no. And I remember I had racked up so many Book It points because I was reading so many fucking comics and shit. I had won for 2 years in a row. I won the Book It program for, I think, my respected grade or class, whatever, out of the whole school, whatever. Mm-hmm. And there was one prize one year I had won, like, a personal pan pizza for I think it was like for like a whole year or some shit, a personal pan pizza. And then there was another year where I had won a season tickets to see the Chicago Cubs. And that was nice. Sadly I had only went to one Cubs game. I was mad. I'm pretty sure my parents ended up selling those.
The others.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. They did. That was back when I was very, very big into baseball. Very big into baseball. I knew stats. I could tell you all kinds of shit back then as a kid. It's funny because somebody was asking me today if I watch baseball. I said I haven't watched baseball in years, and they're like, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "But if you want to talk football or basketball, I'm definitely your guy."
All ears.
Yeah, I'm all ears. You know, I'll talk that shit with you. You all know, you've listened to the show long enough. You get me on, you know, I'm looking at that shit, for example, that's going on with LA, and you know, oof. I don't know how you're gonna make that trade to get rid of Russell Westbrook, but the fact that his agent dumped his ass.
Oops.
That's all I need to hear.
Oh, you mean Westbrook?
Yeah, Westbrook. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when that happens.
It is. So those are what come to mind for Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Chat room. How old is Ric Flair now?
Too old to be wrestling?
So you know, huh?
No.
Ha! 73-year-old Ric Flair is gonna have one last match.
Well, why do you think he's having all the help?
So you know who's helping him?
I think so.
Well, let's refresh your memory. Okay, so let's load this up.
Andrade and Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, okay. So you saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you're up to speed. Okay, yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Ric Flair has a pacemaker and a whole bunch of other lovely shit that's going on with him, right? So what do you think about, 73, 74, 75-year-old Ric Flair doing one more wrestling match? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but wasn't Ric Flair's previous last match before this, didn't he do something with the Hulkster? I could have sworn he did something with the Hulkster in TNA, and that was like...
I feel like...
Because he hasn't done anything since TNA.
Or was it Eric Bischoff he did something with?
No.
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 Then it must have been Hulk.
It was Hulk. I'm pretty sure it was Hulk was the last time in TNA. So yeah, but anyway, what's your thoughts? Keep in mind we're putting Tams on the spot because she is that casual wrestling fan. You know, the one that Tony Khan and them say pretty much doesn't exist. Well, she does exist. She's one of them, and she's a female. So it's nice to get the perspective 2 in 1, if you will.
They're gonna really have to make that work. The people that are with him are going to have to oversell that thing like a mofo. They're going to be doing majority of the work. He's going to take a couple of falls, but they're going to be doing majority of the work.
Now, let me home in on that. When you say he's going to take a couple of falls...
Okay, maybe I should say a couple of bumps.
Now, let me follow up on that. When you say he's going to take a couple of bumps, you've seen enough Ric Flair matches, enough to know his repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
You see him doing his usual bumping, or... including the, flip around the ropes, run to the side, get clotheslined, and all that lovely shit?
No.
You see him, you see him getting arm dragged, suplexed, German suplexed?
I don't think that half of his repertoire is going to happen. I mean, I think they're going to probably try a couple things, but it all depends on what he can handle.
I said it last week, which was, who's the doctor that signed off on Ric Flair doing this, and how much were they paid?
I would agree with that.
As a fan of wrestling, How does it make you feel to hear that this man is doing one more match? How does it make you feel? First range of emotions that comes to mind.
Let it go. Let it go. I get that you want to feel young again. I get that you want to feel relevant. I get that you want to feel that excitement. But your physical health is not where it needs to be, where you should be doing that. Hell, it wasn't even there 10 years ago. Barely. I remember watching him in TNA and going, what the hell? And it was like, okay, I mean, I get why he wants to do it, but he's huffing and puffing and red like a beet. And I'm like, wait a minute. You know, it just doesn't scream that I need to watch me. Nostalgia's nice, sure. Mm-hmm. You know, but if you want to feel it to be in the ring, okay, be a fucking promoter. Be a manager, be a this, be a that. But at 73 with heart issues and a damn pacemaker, you don't need to be doing that type of thing.
My man said that he was either gonna go out with a woman on top of him or die in the ring.
Well, I have pretty good thought that they don't have any intention of him dying in the ring. So I guess it's gonna be the woman on top.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's just wild. It's just wild. I still can't wrap my brain around it. I'm
to teach his own, but that's a lot.
Now let me ask you this: would you pay to see it?
No.
Because
I personally would not.
Because of all the reasons that you said, mm-hmm. And as a result, it does not interest you.
It doesn't interest me. I mean, am I curious? Okay, yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be curious just because you know the history, you know the wrestler and what have you. But to pay money to see it? No. No.
First time putting her on the spot because I didn't even... That's how this show works, you know? Like, whatever comes to mind and everything. So, it's nice to hear that. It really is. I'll be seeing it. I will order it. I will, you know, because people are going to want to know. Mm-hmm. You know? Oh, you know, hey, man, yeah, he still got it. Oh, man. You know? Yeah, just as you thought it was going to be. Yeah, it was a piece of shit. His stuff was shit. You know, the other guys, yeah, he's going to be carried. He's going to be carried.
Oh, he has to be. There's no other way around that to make it look decent and believable besides them carrying him.
You know, I would be a fly on the wall to know, and maybe as we get closer, we'll learn more, but I'm just curious, was Sting ever brought up as, you know, a final opponent? And, you know, if not, right? Now, obviously, Tony Khan had felt a particular way, so, you know, it wouldn't surprise me
if he said no.
Right. You know, if Ric Flair says, yeah, I actually did want Sting, but Khan is still a little bit, you know, hurt over that one episode of Dark Side of the Ring. And
I mean, since we're bringing people back, hell, might as well bring back the Undertaker.
Oh,
you know,
shit. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I hear you.
Just put a coffin on each side.
I hear you. Shit. Oh my God. It's amazing. You know what I'm still going on about this because I think what's going on here, I think what's going on here, Flair never did get that nice, no, that nice. It feels like to me he two things. It feels like he wants that attention.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because you go back and you say, man, WrestleMania weekend, you go up against Shawn Michaels. What a fantastic fucking way to go out and end your fucking in-ring career. Anything after that is basically gonna hurt your legacy. I mean, you're still the man either way. Mm-hmm. But man, everybody goes back to that match with Shawn Michaels. I still watch that from time to time. I'm not gonna lie. What a great fucking story. Just psychology, just everything. Just newer wrestling fans, I would say just go back, watch that. I mean, you can just watch that shit, break it down frame by frame. Maybe one day we'll do a watch along as we get closer to. I think that would be kind of cool. Just do an episode where we're just talking about that match. You know, everybody's able to watch right along with us, and you know, I think we should definitely do that, right? Watch that, and maybe watch the joint with the Hulkster and TNA over the next little. I think that'd be great, but it's you know he got a nice payday for that, but because of all the financial hardship and everything that was going on with the dude, you know, this go round it just feels like a big money grab. That's honestly how it comes off. From the Ric Flair wings. Did you know about that? Ric Flair wings.
I heard you mention it.
Yeah, Ric Flair's now got chicken.
Oh, that wasn't the type of wings.
Oh wow! I was like, wait a minute now. Yeah, Ric Flair wings. Matter of fact, here is the video of Ric Flair and his fucking wings. I'll post this if you guys had missed it here. Here you go, Ric Flair wings.
Wings, legendary flavors, world championship wings. Woo, woo wings, yeah, woo woo.
I mean, he's just. I mean.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi there, big man. Listen to the Nature Boy. If you want to satisfy your lady right without having me doing it for you, stop by your local store and pick up my condoms.
Okay. That is.
Put the condom on, put that condom on, and when you get her in the bedroom, you're gonna have her screaming just like me when I lost my son Reed. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Okay. So for me. Well, Lee's over here losing his mind.
Oh God, oh God.
That is the quintessential. You have an idea. I have the name. You pay me. And I make money.
Yeah.
That is me. Excuse me. This is me whoring my name out for the quickest dollar.
Right.
Even the one last match. The thing in reference to the other point that I wanted to make, we both know, and everybody out there knows, I'm sure, and I know Lee does because he helped, one of his good friends train for Tough Enough. How much work that is to be able to be in shape and to be able to actually make it believable. That's not even the work that you have to do for hours worth of work for what, 20, 30 minutes? 15?
Yeah.
So you can't tell me at the age that he is that he can put in that kind of time. Number one. Number two, that he's in that good of a physical condition to be able to do it as far as put in that time.
Right.
So, yes, you're going to have some people help you out. But it really, 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 especially with our wings, it's just, okay, let me use my name and see how much money it's going to get me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's wow, you know. He's even doing, I think I told you about this, he's even doing like this cool ass 3D scan where basically you actually have to actually be at the event, right? I forget which package it's under, but basically for $400, you go with Ric Flair into this 3D scan thingamajigga. I believe you go into the scan with Ric Flair. You hit your pose with him or whatever. And basically for $400, you get this really cool 3D sculpture of you and Flair.
Oh, it's one of them. I hope it's not one of them lighted bars.
I don't know if anybody has the link to it, but it's a really cool sculpture. And like a lot of us were looking at this and we're going, Jesus Christ, you know, $400. I mean, that's pretty badass. What they got there, but the price, you're just going, oh man, that price is a little bit too fucking steep. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm trying to find the link, and I sadly don't see it. Keep talking. Let me see. Buy me about 20 seconds.
You know, the other thing is he comes off to me as someone who wants to remain relevant.
You nailed it.
Even
nailed
at...
it. Here it is. There you go. A 3D scanned custom figure of you and Ric Flair.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll post this in the chat too for you guys that had missed it.
He just in reference to, I remember hearing a couple of excerpts and rumblings of, even when he was doing the whole dad/manager of Charlotte Flair, and she's kind of like, okay, I'm good, kind of, excuse me, but back the fuck off.
Right.
I'm good. I don't need daddy anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just really, besides the money, it just becomes to where you really truly feel like he wants to remain relevant for as long as possible and will do damn near anything to do so.
It also reminds me of the running gag of Kiss's final tour.
Oh, you mean...
Rolling Stones' final tour.
Yeah, the one that happens yearly?
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is it, y'all. It's going down.
Yeah, just like Fred Sanford. Oh, it's the big one.
You hear that, Elizabeth? Coming to join you, honey. I'm gonna be coming with a big old bucket of wings. Let's get the fuck out of here on that note. All right, quick programming notes. So Monday show, we had technical issues. The webcast version, but it's audio only. That's available right now for you guys that like checking out shit on demand and on the downloads. I'm going to have Monday night show uploaded in the next 2 hours because I've got to now sit here for about an hour doing some voiceover reads for some new sponsors. We're working with one sponsor. I know a lot of you guys like coffee. There's one sponsor who we're going to be working with right now as we speak, but he's got a great coffee company, and one of his flavors has to do with wrestling. I think he's got it called Royal Rumble. I don't know the flavor, but yeah, it's a great partnership that we're doing with these guys for the next few months. I'm going to be sampling their coffees live on air. It's gonna be fucking badass, man. I'm very excited to be working with these guys. A lot of cool sponsors that we're working with. So when you check out the shows for On Demand on the downloads, as I always say, represent, check out the episode description and support those sponsors because they are sponsoring our shows. They're basically helping finance us. So pay it forward, definitely represent, check them out. But Wednesday night I'll be live. Not in the Discord. I'll be live on the other outlets though, right? I like to try to make sure we don't butt heads with our other friends that's doing shows in the Discord. So, we don't want to butt heads, Let everybody have their moment of fun in the sun, I always say. But I'll be live after Dynamite goes off the air, so tune in for that. And then you guys know Friday night, I'll be with you guys on 411 Mania website doing my live recap and review of Rampage. Should be a pretty good episode. It was nice to see that their numbers had rebounded from the previous week. I think they did about maybe 435,000 viewers for last Friday. So that's pretty good. Yeah, the fans kind of were like, yeah, miss me with that New Japan stuff. I don't really care for that. So nice to kind of see that they rebounded a little bit.
I want to see some wrestling.
Yeah, I want to see some AEW wrestling. I don't care about that Japan. I'm sorry, that New Japan bullshit. I want my AEW wrestling, So that's kind of what they said. Other than that, that is basically it. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you missed on demand on the downloads. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR show. She is the beautiful and the lovely Tammy Lee Sanders here. Wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. We'll see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. Take care.